Elders, brothers, sisters, little ones, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. After praising the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations upon our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this ajiz, fakir, miskin, da'if, mustajir, al-muhtaj, ila rahmati rabbihi wa barakati begins as always by first thanking you, my hosts, for giving me this opportunity to convey the message of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I pray to the Almighty Allah that Allah accepts these humble efforts of yours in listening to this message, as I pray to the Almighty Allah that Allah accepts these tutti frutti efforts of mine in trying to deliver the message. My young friends, the last 50 years have indeed been very, very difficult for the believers in every corner of the globe. For the last 50 years or more, Muslims have been persecuted and tortured in every corner of the globe. From Guantanamo Bay in the west, all the way to China in the east and everywhere in between. Who can forget the blessed land of Sham? Who can forget the two wars in Iraq? Who can forget the suffering for over 50 years in Afghanistan, Kashmir, Bosnia, Chechnya, Somalia, Burma, and currently, and has been for the last 75 years, the genocide that's been taking place at this moment in time, as you listen to this reminder. As Allah rightly says, ضاقت عليكم الأرض بما رحبت. The earth, in spite of its vastness, has become tight upon us. And why? And again Allah rightly says, وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ. Only because we believe in Allah. Only because we've taken Allah as our Khaliq and our Malik. Netanyahu, he himself said, this is a war of civilizations. And he didn't hide the fact. And this is and has been the reality. Nothing's changed. Nothing will change right till the day of judgment. Naturally, my young friends, living in the West, when we see these images and videos coming out from Gaza, where even innocent children have not been spared, 6,000 butchered so far, and only Allah knows the reality, where their brains have been blasted to smithereens, and their parents are carrying their limbs in their hands, and they can't even bury them because of the constant bombardment. Stray dogs eating the flesh of our brethren. Naturally, my young friends, this will hurt. What adds to the pain is the double standards, the hypocrisy of many from the so-called civilized world, free world, that have been teaching us the lessons of human rights for over 50 years, all of a sudden become deaf, dumb, and blind to the atrocities and genocide that is being committed right before our very own eyes. Not only turning a blind eye, justifying it in the name of the right to defend and collateral damage. What were you expecting, my young friend? Were you expecting these very people to liberate the Palestinians? How easy you forget. Tell me, my young friend, who laid the foundation of this oppression a very long time ago? Salt to the wounds, my young friends, is the silence, the weakness, and the cowardness of our leaders. As if they will not die, as if they will not meet their Lord and stand before Him on a day لَيْسَ بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ حِجَابٌ, in which there will be no barrier between them and their master. And all because of petty, dunyawi gain, love of power. This, my young friends, is having such a negative effect on many of us that we're losing hope in the mercy of Allah, we're losing hope in the power of Allah, and we're losing hope in the help of Allah. The message today, my young friends, is simply this: لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله، لا تيأسوا من روح الله. Do not despair, do not lose hope in Allah, do not lose hope in the mercy of Allah, do not lose hope in the power of Allah, do not lose hope in the help of Allah. Ala inna nasr Allahi qareeb, for verily the help of Allah is very close. Naturally, my young friends, we're affected. And it is only human to be affected what is happening at this moment in time in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Palestine. If we were not affected, then, my young friends, we will not be humans. And this fear and this pain that you and I feel, this is a sign of your iman, and this is a sign of my iman. Prophet ﷺ said, المؤمنون كرجل واحد إن اشتكى عينه اشتكى كله وإن اشتكى رأسه اشتكى كله. That the entire Muslim Ummah is like one single body. If any one limb of this body is in pain, then the entire body feels this pain. If the head is in pain, the entire body feels this pain. If the eye is in pain, the entire body feels this pain. If any one believer is in pain, then the Somali will feel the pain. The Bengali will feel the pain. The Gujarati will feel the pain. The Pakistani will feel the pain. The Arab will feel the pain. The Nigeri will feel the pain. And they will not rest till they do not respond to their brother and they do not eradicate this pain and put their Muslim brother to ease. This is a sign of your iman. This is a sign of my iman. My young friends, there is no need to despair, because this is not the end of the people of Gaza. They can nuke Gaza as many times as they like. This is not the end of Gaza. This is not the end of Islam. This is not the end of the Muslims. There is no power within this universe that can put an end to Islam. There is no power within this universe that can put an end to the Muslims other than one power, and that is the power of Allah. There has been no power that can put an end to Islam and the Muslims. There is no power that can put an end to the Islam and Muslims, and there will be no power right up to the day of judgment that can put an end to Islam and Muslims other than the power of Allah. Tell me, my young friends, how many empires came and went? Who can forget USSR, the former communist Tsarist Russia? What a power! What a power! Subhanallah, the zulm, the oppression, the tyranny, and the injustices that were carried out against hundreds and millions of Muslims, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, for years on end in Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan. 70 years, my young friends, if you were to listen to the oppression coming out from the former USSR, even today, the hair on your body would stand. Who can forget about the Crusaders and the rivers of blood flowing in the streets of Jerusalem? Who can forget the Spanish Inquisition and the zulm and tyranny and injustices that were carried out in Muslim Spain when we lost Spain? Who can forget the Tartars? They slaughtered 1.8 million Muslims. The count at this moment in time is Gaza is 20,000. It's a very high number. But what is it in comparison to 1.8 million Muslims? Not with bombs, with the sword. They were put to the sword. 1.8 million Muslims, more or less. 40 days the Tartars slaughtered in Baghdad. They threw so many books in the rivers that bridges were formed, and people were walking from one side of the bridge to the other side of the bridge with their carts and their donkeys and their horses on these books. Who can forget the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire at the dawn of Islam, and the zulm and tyranny, injustice, and how, and the enmity and hatred towards Muslims, and how they came in their hundreds of thousands trying to their utmost best to annihilate Islam and the Muslims. My young friends, one by one they came with their pomp, splendor, armies, might, power, and one by one, my young friends, they melted like snow melts under the hot sun. Disappeared, disintegrated. Yet today, my young friends, Islam is still alive. The Muslims are still alive, and they will remain right till the day of judgment. This is not the end of the people of Gaza. This is not the end of Islam. This is not the end of the Muslims. My young friends, today Islam is the fastest growing religion. Short of 2 billion people. There's not a country on this planet in which you will not find a believer. You go all the way to Argentina, you will find people declaring the kalima la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. You go to Brazil, you will find people declaring the kalima la ilaha illallah. You go to Venezuela, you will find people declaring the kalima la ilaha illallah. And you will find madaris. You go to Panama, you will find people declaring kalima la ilaha illallah. And you will find madaris in which the words of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, qala Allah and qala Rasul, are elevated. You go to Colombia, you will find people uttering the kalima la ilaha illallah. You go all the way to Alaska, you will find people uttering the kalima la ilaha illallah. Today, my young friends, you will not find a single country on planet Earth in which you will not find Islam, in which you will not find believers. Believe me, my young friends, in hundreds of years to come, you will not find a single planet. Even if you travel to a planet hundreds and millions of light years away from Earth, note this, my young friends, you will come across people that utter the kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. This kalima is to be elevated. It will be elevated. Just like today, my young friends, who could have thought about this 1400 years ago? One man stood up with a mission to elevate the kalima la ilaha illallah. Who could have thought and dreamt that after 1400 years there will not be a single place on this planet in which there will not be a kalima la ilaha illallah? At this moment in time, my young friends, this world has become a global village. A time will come when this kalima will be elevated in every corner of the multiverse. Till then, my young friends, the future is bright, because Islam and the Muslims are not going anywhere. The day there are no believers, the day there is no Quran, the day there is no Islam, my young friends, that will be the day when there's nothing else. There will be no earth, there will be no stars, there will be no moon, there will be no suns, there will be no planets, there will be no universe, there will be no multiverse. إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت. My young friends, this is when the story will end. Nothing will remain. It is your iman and the dhikr, my young friends, that is sustaining this universe and everything within it. It is your iman and your dhikr, as a result of which, my young friends, everything within this universe, the planets, the sun, the stars, are working, moving, existing in complete peace and harmony. So tell me, why should you despair? Why should you lose hope? Why should you despair and why should you lose hope when you, my young friend, are the chosen one?